Is there anything that can stop, at a stock price level, the rally in BYD stock, Eugene, which has hit a record high? And how sustainable is that rally?
Yeah, so the company will be releasing their full year annual results next week, as well as giving guidance for the year. I think people will be looking to how aggressive they think their growth plans are going to be in 2025, and that will go into how the stock continues to re-rate or not. I think right now, not just BYD, but a lot of the China market, including a lot of these tech-related names, have benefited from that re-rating we've seen at the beginning of the year with all the AI robotics excitement here. You know, in the auto space, funny enough, I would say that a lot of the auto companies are starting to stop being seen as auto companies and start being seen as tech companies. And that's really what's been driving a lot of the upwards momentum in the shares today.
So at a sector level, overweight China tech, is that therefore the clearest expression of the constructive view on China broadly if China is back, or how selective do we have to be given the tariff risk?
Yeah, I think at this point in the cycle, we do need to be very careful in terms of how you're picking stocks in China. You know, we've taken a look at the re-rating between the China large cap tech names and the US tech names. And what we found is that that gap between valuations since that ChatGPT boom a couple years ago, it's pretty much shrunk. It's pretty much back to the same level as it was before. So playing for just the re-rating relative to the US or even other EMs, I think is much more difficult at this point for China tech. Going forward, it's really going to be which companies can actually execute on that AI vision that everyone's expecting. You know, we have DeepSeek, we have Alibaba, we have Baidu, all coming out with these models, but when can you monetize that? When does that show up in the EPS? I think that's what people need to be looking closer right now.
Eugene, very quickly, the Super EV platform, right? It clears a big hurdle for EV adoption, which is charging, fast charging, same as ICE or fueling. I get that. Price, you know, I think, BYDs and Chinese EVs have everybody beat. But this whole idea of BYD as a tech company, right? Do they have the FSD or FSD equivalent one? Do they have the tech ecosystem to allow their cars to become literally a commodity, right? A battery on four wheels, and the rest of it is just software and apps.
That's a great point. I think right now, every automaker in China is sort of facing that reality, which is if we don't have that technology in terms of the software stack and the hardware stack, how do we compete longer term? And I think what happened essentially was over the last couple of years, we obviously know that Huawei has become this tech supplier to some of the automakers in China, and those cars have sold exceptionally well. And all the other automakers, BYD included, realized they need to kind of catch up on the game here. So BYD earlier this year, even before the Super E platform, announced that they're going to have standardized ADAS on their mass market cars. And I think that where BYD is at today, I would argue is probably still a little bit lagging versus the leaders in China. But given how quickly and how innovative this company historically has been, I don't think they're going to lag for too long.